Check out this insane Xbox. There's a new Xbox controller. Xbox fans are finally getting answers. Is Game Pass getting a price increase? Let's discuss. What's up, guys, and welcome to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is constantly working to keep you up to date on all things Xbox. You know how this goes. I gather up a number of stories from around the video game industry that are related to Xbox and share them with you to make sure that you're Xbox ready. Now, I gotta be honest, guys, I've been plugging my Twitter, and a lot of you have been following me on there and reaching out to me on there. I got a Twitter when I started the YouTube channel because all the other gaming YouTubers had one, so I was like, I needed one too. But honestly, I never used the platform really before that, and I don't really use it now. I've been posting a lot on my Instagram. So if you want to check me out on there, I'm at State of Ray. I posted about the Grogu controller I got, the Mandalorian premiere me and Jamie got invited to, this Redfall event that me and Jamie got invited to. So if you want to check me out on Instagram, I'd really appreciate it. First up, let's talk about a new insane special edition Series S. Now, this was first sent to me by one Nigel G. Griffin on Instagram. He DM'd me images of these, and I had no idea that this was a thing. I knew that Xbox was collaborating with Oreos, but I didn't know they were giving a Series S away that looked like this as part of that collaboration. Idle Sloth on Twitter ended up tweeting out some of the images as well, and I am so confused about this, guys, because the controller for this thing looks actually pretty cool. This looks pretty clean. It's got like the Oreo cookie cream on the bottom, like kind of a splash of it, and then it goes up to like the chocolate cookie cover, like kind of a fade-in situation. It looks cool. And then it has white bumpers on top. Overall, a great design. And then you look at the Series S and you're like, what is going on here? It is a giant Oreo cookie being dunked in milk, and now that I'm saying that, I'm sure that's what they were going for with the controller as well, a cookie being dunked in milk. This looks so strangely thrown together. It's like you got the plastic Oreo shell, and then in the middle, just slapped in between, is the Series S. It's like almost not integrated very well into the design at all. I'm gonna be real here, the plastic looks kind of cheap, and I'm confused because usually they come out with these special edition Series S consoles, and they're pretty cool, like all the Ninja Turtle ones, the Mandalorian ones that we were just talking about on the channel. Like, imagine having this on your entertainment center in your living room, and you have guests over and they're like, why do you have a giant freaking Oreo cookie on your, what is going on? I don't know why they didn't just do what they did for the controller for the console itself. Instead of having this crazy actual Oreo cookie, just give it like the same coloring as the controller. It's like the splash of milk on the bottom and then the cookie part on the top. That would have been pretty cool. As of right now, the sweepstakes to win one of these things is only going on in the UK and Ireland, but I think, according to this article on Pure Xbox, it's going to move across other regions in the EU as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you want this insane Series S Oreo cookie monstrosity. If you're not really into Oreos, but you're in the market for a new controller, Xbox is officially rolling out its Velocity Green controller. Now, this is a controller that was leaked, I feel, a week or two ago, but now it is officially available on the Microsoft Store. You can pick it up for yourself for $64.99 USD. Now, this one is kind of a different controller than the standard Xbox Green. Velocity Green, from my understanding, was a color that was available in the design lab, and I'm sure it either proved very popular or they're just rolling it out for the spring season to go with the theme here. But that's the name of the game. It's all green. The YBXA buttons are green. The thumbsticks are green. Only things that are not green are the D-pad and the bumpers is what it looks like. And on the back, it has a white plate. Xbox seems to be on kind of a roll with these seasonal controllers. We have this Velocity Green for the spring. We had a deep pink for Valentine's Day. We had a lunar shift, the stellar shift for, I assume, the Lunar New Year in January. So if you want to kick off the spring season with a new controller, you might want to check out the Velocity Green. Next up, let's talk about Game Pass, baby. Like I always say, it's not an Xbox Ready video unless I talk about Game Pass in some way, or Activision Blizzard, as things have been going lately. We had a pretty cool month in February. I loved when Mountain Blade 2 came to Game Pass last month. Before that, at the end of January, we had Hi-Fi Rush, we got the Persona games, and they're keeping it rolling, it seems like, in the month of March. Guilty Gear Strive has made its way over to Game Pass, finally. And for those of you who are not familiar, it is like a 2D sort of hybrid 3D anime fighting game. I very much enjoyed the original Guilty Gear, so I'm excited to check this out. And it's nice to see fighting games making their way over to Game Pass still after all that Street Fighter drama. Starting this month, you will also be able to play Dead Space 2 and 3 on Xbox Cloud Gaming if you have Game Pass Ultimate. So if you burn through the remake and you were like, I want more and I want to play it on the go for some reason, there you go. The console version version of Valheim is making its way over to Game Pass March 14th. This has been available on PC Game Pass for a while. It's a procedurally generated survival game centered around Norse mythology. You can play with up to 9 other people for a total of 10, and it's honestly really fun, guys. For anyone who's hungry for more strategy games on Xbox, Sid Meier's Civilization 6 is also coming as well at the end of the month. It's really kind of cool to see Xbox adding more strategy games to Game Pass. You kind of got a little bit of everything on there. You got racing games with the Forza franchise, you got shooters like Halo, and then if they close this Activision Blizzard deal, all the Call of Duty games, Redfall coming up as well, fighting games like we were just talking about with Guilty Gear Strive, and Injustice was on there for a long time. Pretty sure it's still on there now, haven't checked in a while. Survival crafting games like Ark, Valheim, Minecraft, rhythm fighting and shooting games like Metal Hellsinger and Hi-Fi Rush. And as the year continues to go on and we get Starfield and these other first-party titles, it's looking like Game Pass is pretty well-rounded. We're also getting updates to a number of games like Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, and we're finally getting Season 3 of Halo Infinite. Now, I have not checked into this current season of Halo Infinite, so I don't want to speak too much on it, but I still play every now and then. I jumped in the other day when it was Big Team Battle Social, and then they also had Team Snipers as the social match. And that was, gosh dang, guys, like, y'all are too good at snipers, man. Like, I'm pretty decent if you give me enough time. I just don't have that reaction time that some of y'all have. And they're also adding the 5th anniversary celebration for Sea of Thieves for all my pirates out there. Also, keep your eyes peeled for Ghostwire Tokyo. I would not be surprised if it was not only available on Xbox consoles this month, but also made available on Game Pass as well. But as I always say, Game Pass giveth and Game Pass taketh away. That is right. We get a crop of games and then a crop of games leave every month. These games include F1 2020, Goat Simulator, Kentucky Route Zero, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Paradise Killer, Undertale, Young Souls, and Zero Escape, the Nonary games. So a couple of bummers on there, especially Guardians of the Galaxy, but I feel like that's been on there for a very long time. If you want, you can play it before they leave on March 14th. Mid-March is usually when they take off, or you can use your Game Pass subscription to buy the game at a discount before it leaves the service. Next up, the wait is finally over, guys. I'm talking about Starfield. We finally have a release date for this damn game. I feel like I've been talking about it for years. It feels like years at this point. Over on Twitter, Bethesda shared a new trailer for the game, and I gotta admit, guys, I was into it. I was feeling this trailer. It starts out with you docking at the space station. It's called Constellation Star Station or something like that. And then they make reference to some anomaly that they've picked up on, and they're saying, oh, we gotta find the source of it. It could be the source of it all. What does that mean? Oh my gosh. And then they show off like this crazy moon space castle, and it honestly looks like, if you played Oblivion, it looks like the Alien Ruins, but on a bunch of steroids. It looks gorgeous. Hopefully it matches up when I'm playing this thing. And yes, we finally got a release date at the end of the trailer. They said this game is coming out September 6th, 2023, and I am super excited. And then I headed over to Twitter, and that was my first mistake. Twitter, guys, it's just not my place, man. I don't like the discourse on there. It makes me sad a lot of the times. And a bunch of people were like, oh man, Starfield got delayed. It got delayed again. What the heck? And I wasn't even thinking about that because I just assumed that everyone understood that it was going to be pushed out of the first half of 2023. I've been talking about on the channel for a long time. I was like, there's no way after we've learned the release date for Redfall and Minecraft Legends that they're going to be releasing this game before June 2023, that they're going to make that deadline. I was thinking they were going to push it to the fall before November so they can be considered for Game of the Year, and it turns out I was mostly correct. They're doing it at the beginning of September, so it's like sort of that in-between time of like transitioning away from summer into fall. We're also hearing reports that PlayStation might release the new Spider-Man game around that time, so I'm sure Xbox wanted to have something of their own, not have a situation where it's like, oh, PlayStation has this and Xbox has nothing, like sort of what happened last year. So yes, we finally have a release date. I know we had a release date last year. It was supposed to come out 11/11/2022 and it still got delayed. But this time is different, guys. This time is different because we've already seen gameplay. We had the gameplay trailer last June. They've had a couple of developer spotlights where they showed off the random encounter generator, or at least talked about it. And we're gonna see even more of this game before it releases on June 11th of this year, Todd Howard, after they dropped that trailer on Twitter, he came out after they showed the release date and he was like, "What's up guys, I'm Todd Howard and we're doing a whole show dedicated to Starfield on June 11th. Similar to what they did in January with the developer direct, but instead of focusing on a bunch of games, or not like 4 or 5 games, they're doing a whole thing dedicated to Starfield. And I'm super excited to learn more about this game. I know y'all are as well. I'm sure this trailer is going to be picked apart. A bunch of people are going to be examining even the smallest details. But before we know it, June is going to be rolling around and we're going to learn a lot more about this game. Super excited for that. And on that same day, before Starfield Direct, we're also getting the much rumored Xbox Games Showcase. Now we know Xbox is skipping E3, but after Developer Direct, there were rumors swirling around that they were going to do their own standalone showcase, much like they did last June with the Xbox Bethesda show. So again, that is going down June 11th, the same day as Starfield Direct. It'll be the Xbox Game Showcase, and then it's just gonna be the Starfield Power Hour. As far as what's gonna be in the showcase, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, Starfield is getting its own thing, so that's not gonna be part of it. Redfall will be released by that time, so that probably won't be a part of it unless they announce like some new DLC character. The immediate pressing issues for me are a release date for Forza Motorsport, and maybe an update on Hellblade 2. There are rumors swirling around that that game is going to release maybe at the end of this year, maybe not, I don't know. We haven't seen much about it since they showed off that gameplay trailer that looked like pre-rendered CGI, but apparently they came out and they were like, no, this is all in-game, in-engine. If you want to hear more about my thoughts on what's going to go down this summer at the Xbox Game Showcase, me and Jimmy are going to actually be talking about it in the weekend edition of Xbox Ready, so maybe subscribe, check back on Sunday for that if you are interested. If you're not, then whatever, man. Next up is Xbox getting a price increase, and so far, according to this recent statement, no, even if they acquire Activision Blizzard, we are apparently not going to see a price increase to either tier of Game Pass, which is surprising to me. This was brought to light by documents released by the CMA in the UK, the people that are reviewing the Activision Blizzard deal. And according to these documents, Xbox says that a price increase to Game Pass would be counterproductive. They say they didn't do it when they added all the Bethesda stuff to Game Pass, and they're not going to do it when they acquire Activision Blizzard. Apparently, keeping the prices low on Game Pass would incentivize users to have it for a little bit longer rather than just, buying it to try out the new Call of Duty and then canceling their subscription right away or a month or two later. They say Game Pass subscribers can cancel at any time after a month of play. As Call of Duty titles are only released once a year, any impact would be short-lived as gamers who exhaust their enthusiasm for the new version of Call of Duty within a few months will churn because of the higher price. Now, this is really great news because obviously, if you've been paying attention to just current world events, prices are growing up on everything. And we had heard a few months ago that Xbox was planning to increase the price of not only their first-party games, but potentially their hardware and their services. So I know there was a lot of nerves and anxiety around that. We saw price increases in Japan on Xbox hardware, India, and we're seeing those price increases creep on over to certain Western markets as well. And I'm especially surprised because they're increasing the price of AAA games like Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport to $70. I just kind of assumed that they were going to do that with Game Pass as well, since all of those games are going on Game Pass anyway. The cost of games are rising, the cost to make them is rising. Why not increase the price of Game Pass? I'm not too sure. I'm not going to question it because I want my subscription price to stay the same. The only thing I can think of is that, they're going to make so much money on the Activision Blizzard catalog anyway that they don't really care. Once again, if this deal is approved and Activision Blizzard stuff is added to Game Pass and it stays the same price, that is a huge win for Xbox fans. $15 a month and we have access to so many games, so many different kinds of games like I was just talking about. Strategy games, fighting games, shooters, maybe MMOs, who knows, maybe they'll throw freaking WoW on there. As of right now, prices are going to stay the same on your Game Pass subscription. That might change in the future, I don't know. After Sony raised their prices of the PS5 not too long ago, Xbox came out and they were like, we're staying firm, no price increases, and then they ended up increasing prices in some regions anyway. But I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to choose to take their word, so no price increase on Game Pass. Anyways, guys, that's all the news I have for today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and we'll see you in the next video.